What? Hi, I'm Tangles. This is my garage, and this is my car. Good evening, YouTube. I'm not sure. Well, I've got a pretty good idea what I filmed before. I started the upper control arms in the front, and I was filming out of sequence on purpose to show some things and to be a little bit more professional, a little bit less. This is how you don't do it on one side and then do the other side really easily. And I discovered a couple of things. Firstly, these arms aren't adjustable once they're on the car. They're entirely adjustable off the car, but they aren't adjustable on the car, which means when I put them on, that's it. Whatever camber they're at, that's what I'm going to have, unless I take them all off again, adjust them, put them back on. I don't want to do that. So I'm here doing some math, and here is a bit of a diagram of the suspension configuration. Now, it's not perfect. These arms aren't horizontal. This one points up, this one points down slightly. This is the upright. It's not on that angle. That angle is sort of irrelevant, I've worked out. But I know the length of that arm. I know the length of that arm. That's difficult to measure because it's here's some light control arms I prepared earlier, because it's this type of joint. So where do you actually measure that to? I've sort of measured it to, something like in the middle of the joint as best I could. This is not going to be perfect. This is not a permanent solution. This is going to get me my 3 to 4 degrees camber by the end of the night, hopefully. If not, by tomorrow night. I've got a measurement of 335 for here, 195 for here, and then you extend this out. The hub is at a 1.5, because this is my current cam, 1.58 minus 1.58 degrees. So the hub camber angle is fixed. Where was I? Yeah, that's right. So the hub angle is fixed relative to this angle. Whatever that is, it should shift close to 1-to-1 with it, I think. So shortening this, we'll lean that over, and I'll lean that over by the same amount. Therefore, this triangle here is relative to this triangle here, and I should be able to work out like another triangle here. If that angle is more than that angle by the amount I want to move this angle, then this distance is how much shorter I need to make these arms, if that makes any sense. And then I match all the arms up perfectly so that they're all the same. Put them in, because the bushes are pretty good in these upper control arms. Well, I don't know about the one on this side, but this one was pretty good. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. There's no play in them, so that means I should be able to just set these, bolt them in, and have the right setup. I have got some ramps as well. Now the purpose of the ramps is to be able to load the car on the wheels to tighten these up, because these will want to go up and down with the load, and they should be in the loaded position when I tighten them up, based on this was. When I undid the bolt through the upright, it flew up. It was loaded up that way, so it was in the loaded position when these were done up. So I'm going to replicate that. That's what Nissan wanted. That's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to do now. A bit more math and figure out that length. Okay, for those of you who don't like maths, skip the next little bit. Here's my two triangles. This is this triangle that I have. This is the triangle I want, which is that one. Now, this with a 1.58 degree angle, with a 415mm hypotenuse, long side of the triangle, being a right angle triangle, gives me 11.44mm length down here. This one, here I've got 3.5 degrees, 415mm hypotenuse. That is fixed because that is the length of that upright. No matter how much you lean it over, it's going to be the same length. This height will change. This will not. And it does change slightly. But that gives me 25.34mm on the base of this triangle. Now, because triangles work like this, that triangle is the same as that triangle. That distance up here is equal to that distance down here, the same up here. So I know now that's that. I need to make that. I need to make that. So the difference of that is what I need to take out of the lower control arm, which is, so 25.34 that's a lot of numbers, minus 11.44. So the difference is 13.9mm. I'm feeling generous, I'm going to round that. So we need to move this upper control arm in by 14 millimeters. So 195 minus 14, 181. That's my target length for the upper control arm. Now these are the same, so I just set them both to the same, set all of them to that, bolt them in, and I should have 3.5 degrees at the end of it. Well, I got some complication here. This arm is bottomed out at 186 millimeters instead of the 181 I was targeting. That means, and I've done the maths here, that gives me, and I haven't written it down, what do I work it out to be? 2.35 degrees of camber in that triangle. So that's not enough. I've pulled this out quickly, have a look. What I'm going to do is cut them. This shaft is quite long, so I see no problem in cutting 10 mil off the bottom of it, threading it back in. It should be golden, I hope. Okay, this is prepped for cutting. I've marked the 10 mil with a bit of masking tape. I've put it in the clamp because vices were on special the other day, and I thought, oh, I don't have any jobs where I'll need a vice coming up, so I won't bother buying them. I'll wait till they're on special next time. So I'm doing this again. Angle grinder cutting wheel. Now I've left this nut on. This is on purpose. So after I've cut it and I give the thread a bit of a clean up, well, not the thread, just taper the cut back a little bit, I can wind the nut off, and that should help to deburr and clean up the thread to make sure I can get it in there. The other arm doesn't matter, it's got a hole right through, so I can push that one in as far as I need. Yeah, so trying to cut that one and its mate, which is there. Always remember your safety gear in thongs, bare hands. Although you don't want to wear gloves around rotating tools anyway. Liable to take something off. So here we go. It's definitely a tool steel or something, so that's a positive note. That's why you want to buy it. If need be, you know, you just let that go. Also, why you don't see me cutting with my head in line with it, so I can see the cut. I always have my head off to the side, looking at it here, because if it does bite, you know, if you're cutting down to up, which you don't want to do, it'll grab that way. So cutting from the top down, it's going to pull it away from you, which is what it did just then. And then it caught in the guard, which meant it just grabbed it, and I was able to just flick it off with my thumb. But you know, if it didn't catch in the guard, it would go that way. If you're cutting down here to get sparks away from yourself, it's going to bite, it's going to go that way, it's going to go right into your face or your arm or whatever happens to be in the way. It's never pleasant when it grabs, but it's not a 9-inch grinder at least, which is far, far worse. Still pretty warm, to be expected. Still hot, don't touch it, kid. So that's our new shortened item. That should go in far enough. In fact, before I cut the other one, I'll test fit this one. Okay, our target was 181. I don't know if you can see that, but that's approximately 178 there. It's bottomed out, so that's pretty good. Do the other one. Alright, there's the second one. Good to go. I'm an idiot. I put that on the wrong side, but for the time being, let's just double check this measurement. It's also in the 170s, high 170s, which is all we need. Now let's undo this and put the washer on the right side. Okay, 2 modified adjustable arms. Let's double check that this will wind all the way in. So it's biting up a little bit, but I think it's just because of the paint on the end. So I wouldn't have painted all the full depth of it, but that goes through, you can see, and out the other side. So assuming they can get to 180, measurement from there to there, it's 20, that's 197, no, like 193, minus 20 is 173, so that's fine. Okay, so what I'm doing here is using this ruler, getting tight to hold it as a nice straight edge, and measuring up to where the arm will be from there, and this is accurate. I want 200 millimeters to the center, and you know what? It's dead on. That is 200 millimeters from there to there. Now, I want 180 from there to there, and I've measured this, and it's 40 mil across. So therefore, from the edge to the centre is 20. 200 minus 20 is 180. So I want 1 more millimetre. I want 181. Let's wind it out. One rotation. Let's see where that gets us. It gets us, I reckon it's pretty much dead on 201. These are going to be like a 1.25 mil thread pitch, so that makes sense. That if it was pretty much 200 before, it's going to be pretty much 201 now. That one's golden. We just hold that in the same configuration and nip this up. And not do it up too tight because I have to finish it on the car. And now that is a straight substitute for that. Okay, I've done those two, matched them up. They're exactly the same. Same thing here with this one. I'm looking for 200 to the centre of the hole, or 201. What I'm finding is it's a bit too far away or a bit too far under, so I'm sticking to 200 to 201 in a bit to keep them all the same. It's just literally the difference in when the thread started to cut, so it's not much, but there is a very small difference in there. Having said that, it is fine, and that is 200. Okay, all 4 arms are ready to go in. The other complication we have is because these aren't really adjustable on the car. For the same reason, I can't really do these up tight because these faces need to bolt hard against their relative faces and all need to line up. So I need to be able to pull these up. They'll rotate slightly to pull flat on that surface and flat on that surface when in the car. And to do that, I need to load on the car. Once again, that's what the ramps are for. But I need to do them up first and then nip that nut up to prevent it from moving. It shouldn't move anyway. Once those are tight, it really hasn't got anywhere to go, but it could rotate slightly, I suppose, and add movement to the system in either direction, but not very much. Anyway, let's see if we can get a side in.